Hi there folks, it's Shane here at Isle of Wight Bushcraft. It's December and it's time for my final Bushcraft wild camp outing of the year. And if you're sat there and you're wondering, well, why is he wearing a t-shirt if it's December the 28th? And why is he holding that big ball of string? And will he make it through the night to complete his goal for the year of one bushcraft trip each month? Well, stay tuned folks and find out. Just come across a nice forageable, and this is sea purslin, and it grows along the bank here. This is a brackish creek, and very good all year round. This quite salty, but not overly. It's got a bit of a bite to it, but apparently this is very good for your lymph node system. So plenty of that along here, so I'll have some of this for in my diet today. Yeah, sea purslin, very good. No samphire that I can see, but it's a bit late in the year for that now. It's probably up until September, marsh samphire. No, none of that, but plenty of sea purslin. So yeah, very good. Carry on. Looks like the tide's on its way in, filling the creek up. And although it's December, late December, it's actually the 28th today, as I said, I can still see some small mullet topping the water this time of year. Incredible, so mild. Oh well, let's crack on. Ah, yeah. Well, hi folks. This is I've reached my site for the night. This is where I'm going to be making camp for this trip out. It's a lovely spot. I've got the water there, I've got a nice little wood just there and a bit of shelter. It's a bit windy, everywhere is waterlogged. It's you know, we've had so much rain, but it is very mild, and so it's not cold. And I've only just put this top on because I've got a slight chill, but it's so mild, and it's a nice bright day as well. So yeah, this is a lovely spot, so I'm looking forward to this again. So I think I better make camp. So I've just put my my bow saw together, which I made back in June. It's still going strong. It's funny how you get attached to your gear, isn't it, once it's been faithful to you. And anyway, so I'm going to go and cut some stanchions, some poles, so I can put my tarp up. And then I'll show you what I'm going to be sleeping on tonight, just using some string. So I'll cut some timbers. What I'm just doing now is just preparing these stanchions, these uprights for my tarp. It's going to go across here, and the timbers that I've taken, there's a little wood there, and there's loads and loads of these saplings. So I always try and take those because they really do need thinning out. So taking 2 or 3 of those over that whole wood is not going to do any harm. In actual fact, it'll do the wood a bit of good. So anyway, get these prepared and then we'll put the tarp up. So I've put my 2 stanchions out now, and I've put 2 guy ropes at either end. And I don't know if you can notice, but I've put my my uprights, my stanchions or poles, whatever you want to call them, at a slight angle, and that's to allow for when I put the tarp between them and pull it tight, it should straighten up then. And what I found is you haven't always got trees to put a tarp between, so just cutting a couple of saplings like this and tying the tarp between them is I find is a good way to put a tarp up when you're out in the open. I'm not quite out in the open, but there are certainly no trees that I can put the tarp up. So I'm going to put this up now then. Just another little tip, guys, that again, this might be bread and butter for many of you, but when I put my tarp in its stuff sack, my ridge line is already hanked, as you can see. So all I've got to do is undo that, put it to the first one, and then I take the other end of the ridge line, and that's hanked as well. I don't know if you can see, but the prusik loops are already on there as well, so it's all ready to go. So once I put one end to one upright pole, this to the other, it just pulls out the bag, and then put it back in reverse order, and I find that's a really good way to do it. Very convenient. So I'm going to put this up. There we go, it's almost like putting the washing out. So there we go, all I've got to do now is just put the guy lines out and we're good to go. You see I've got my tarp all pegged out now, and So as I said, I'm just going to be using this to sleep tonight. And what I'm going to use this for is to make a little A-frame bed, a bushcraft bed under the tarp. And we're going to see how we go with that. I have given it a trial run at home and tried it, so all being well, should be okay. But what I've got to do is I've got to cut 8 timbers. I need 3 from the 2 tripods either end, and then some thicker ones to actually make the cross beams that I can string the string to for the means of support. And then I should put 2 ground thermarests or thermalite mats to lay on top of that, and then we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to cut my timbers. As you can see, folks, I've lashed the timbers together to make the tripod, and that's pretty sturdy. Handy as well, because you can put your rucksack on the tripod as well. It keeps it off because it's pretty wet, keeps it off the wet ground. And then I've used some of this it's like a webbing rope really. I got it from a bushcraft store, but I've made 2 of those, one for each end. They're the same length, and they'll just keep these timbers in place while I lash the string to make the mattress with. So I'm just going to do that now. There we are. I've put my my stays either end to hold the timbers, and what I'll do now is just put my weight on it. And as you can see, whoa, I could do a workout on this as well. As you can see, very stable. Now it'll easily take my weight. So now I'm going to put the string on to make the mattress. So there we are, guys. There's all the string. Lashed all the way down these supporting timbers, so that's the mattress. I'll just bring you in a bit closer so I can show you what I've done. So there's the tripod, as you can see, and you've got another tripod the other end. You can see where my rucksack's on it. Handy that, because you can keep your stuff right at the end of your bed. And there we are. There's the string that I've put between each cross bearer. And I've put the, as you can see, I've put each lashing around about 1.5 inches apart, and I have tested this. I have done a trial run at home, and I found that that's perfectly adequate. And in case you're wondering, the actual string is hay baling string. You can buy it in big rolls from any agricultural shop, and it's dirt cheap. It's about £12 a big roll, and there's thousands of feet on it. Lasts you for ages. I mean, I bought 2 rolls, and I've used the 1 roll. I've still got about 2/3 left. I've used it for lots of things, but it's great for this. There we go. So there's my little bed for the night. And I'm going to put my roll mats on there now, my sleeping bag, and I've got an inflatable mattress as well for a bit of added comfort, and that should be lovely for the night. So I'll just do that now. So there we are, guys. I've put my, so I've used 2, overlapped them, my ground mats, that's what I meant to say earlier, put those on, and we'll try it now. So when you get on it, it's an idea just to put your weight on the opposite member, cross member, as you ease yourself on, and we'll see what it's like. I don't want to get my boots on it because, there we are. Oh. That is so comfortable. Oh. And what a view. Oh. Beautiful. I actually feel the warmth of this. Just laying on it makes my back feel warm. But there we go. That's the bushcraft bed. Just using some few timbers and some lashings of baling string, hay baling string. And oh, that is oh, that's the best. I would say this is the most comfortable, the best way to sleep while camping so far. Hammock's not bad. This is, I mean, obviously the proof's in the pudding, but we'll see. But it feels lovely. Oh. Anyway, I haven't got time to lay about. I must crack on. So there we are, guys. I've put my
inflatable mattress on the on top of these ground mats. So I've got my pillow, and there's my Van Gogh bag and a half, which is really warm, and it's got a nice and lovely hood. I can really just get lost in that really. So there we are, let's say. Oh, that's my bed for the night. Beautiful. Oh. Yeah. I'm looking forward to sleeping on that. All from a few little bits of timber and some string. There you go, shows you what you can do. If you haven't tried it, guys, I seriously recommend it. It is super, super comfortable. Right, let's get some firewood now. Well, as you know, guys, I don't need to introduce the or tell you about the hammock chair. I've done that in previous vids, but I just wanted to show you the view that I've got from my hammock chair. My bed's just there under the tarp. And there you go. Sit here. I'm going to have my fire just there later, and that's the view I've got. And I guarantee you that that is better than any television screen. It's nice to watch the videos, but you can't beat actually being out there and doing it. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. How privileged we are. You get times like this, you appreciate the fact that you've got eyes and you can see and appreciate these things. You think, I often think of, you know, some of the poor people that, you know, have lost their sight or hearing. Such a shame. Yeah. So we are very, very fortunate. Anyway, I think it's time to light a fire. Well, as you know, guys, trying to light a fire when everything's absolutely sodden is not the easiest thing, but I've managed to find some dry bits and pieces. I've got a fair amount of firewood stored there. I managed, because there's this like smallish young wood just out of shot. You can't see it, but it's just there. It's fairly sizable. There's quite a lot of dead standing in there, and some stuff laying on the ground which is resting on top of other stuff which is dry. And I've got a little patch there actually of stuff that's been cut down and dry. So I'm going to use a bit of birch bark and a bit of fat wood as well, this time my favourites, and a bit of fire going, something to eat I think. So I'm going to try that now. So I've just, my tin, I use the lid, I always use that, it's very handy, and it just collects the dust then. And I'll just scrape the edge of my blade, a nice bit of fat wood, just scrape. So I'll get a fair amount of dust. I've got to be careful though, because there is a bit of a breeze blowing, and I don't want it to, I don't want the wind to blow it all the way. Should be okay. There is a fairly fair wind actually, but I'm kind of positioned in a place where I've got wood that side and all around really. The only opening is out the entrance to the estuary, sorry, the creek. So I'm reasonably sheltered. I should be okay. And just take a few little slivers as well, because that's really handy, just to put a few of those, tear a few slithers off as well if you buy it. That's handy for helping to get the fire going, particularly in this damp. I have got some nice dry twigs, but they might need a little bit of help in getting going. So if I put some of these on top of the old fatwood dust, then all being well, that should be okay. There we go. Right, as you can see, I've dug my fire pit there, and I've just put, and this is quite important, that I've just put a fire lay of dried cut logs. That's the going to be the base for the fire to get going on. Quite important, particularly in the wet, when the ground is absolutely sodden, like I said it is at the moment. That will help it. It's got a dry bed to light on. Put it straight on the wet ground, it may well put the fire out. So, okay. Well, enough yakking, let's get it lit. Be careful here. There we go, first time. That is how good. That's how good fat wood is. Shavings can take a little bit longer to light, but the dust, if you scrape the dust, it lights really well. There we go. And as I say, the birch bark slivers really do go away. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see that, but you can actually see the black smoke coming off of it. There we go, I managed to get some dry stuff. Put that on there nice and lightly. That should be okay. So even though it's really, really wet, it's still possible to light the fire. as long as you get everything prepared, you know, you've got your stage 1, which I'm putting on now, stage 2 ready at hand, you've got everything there ready, and you practice and you know what to do, it's more than possible. It's a definite, really. There we go, just putting some stage 2 on now. A bit of wind is useful because it gives a little bit of oxygen, which helps it. So there we are.